Good evening, glory, hallelujah to you. What the heck's your story and what's going through you? This is the glorified version of a Bass and Talk Show. And I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Give it up for you, Bass Galaxy. It's Wednesday night. It's time to feel all right, you know what I mean? We got something a little bit different. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Bass Galaxy. I'm excited too. We got something a little different lined up for you this evening, and it's basically winning bass and baits, some history, and some mystery. It's all combined into one fun show. To bring that all to you, we've brought to you the double champ. That's Hank Cherry. Hank Cherry's coming on the show tonight. That's right. Hank's going to tell you. He won a classic. He knows a little bit about winning baits, doesn't he? Who else knows about winning baits and history? The Bass and Historians, that's right, from the Big Bass Podcast. Kenny Duke and Terry Battisi. Yeah. That's right. And of course, the maestro of baits. He's a bait purchaser. He's kind of like bait cartel or mafioso, and that's Pistol Polish Pete from Omnia Fishing. Rounds it up. Yeah. We're going to be talking about plastic worms and jerk baits and all these classic winning baits throughout history. So it should be pretty fun. Oh, and speaking of jerk baits, there's a little deal going on at Omnia Fishing right now. And if you purchase a stunner from OmniaFishing.com, you are entered in a chance to get a free Hank Cherry Signature Series rod from Abu Garcia. So that's pretty cool. Buy a stunner, and you get a chance to win a Signature Series rod. I think they're like $200 rods, Andy. $180 or something. Stunner costs what, $15? How many, Andy? 15. There you go, and boom, that's your chance to win a Hank Cherry Signature Series rod. But there's more. There's definitely more. We're going to talk about that when Pistol Pete comes on, and he'll give more details on that. But pretty cool. Wait till you hear what else is going on. Speaking of amazing things, all you have to do, of course, for more happiness here on the Stray Cast Show, like and share the live Facebook feed, and you got 2 chances tonight, Bass Galaxy. Yeah, 2 chances. First one is the Line and Lure pack, courtesy of Isaac over at Line and Lure, and the second one is from our bud Luke Foley at Tin Cup Whiskey, and that's the Hoochie Coochie official brown liquor of Bassin pack. Goes to a lucky member of the Bass Galaxy tonight. Hey, on the chat board tonight, give it up for the one and only Rockin' Shoal Fantasy, kicking butt. Did an amazing job on the Gussie Family and Friends show. Thanks, JR, for that. Now, I need to ask you a favor, Bass Galaxy, for those of you tuned in so far, and we'll reiterate later. Give us a Bassmaster Classic year. So just put a year. Bassmaster Classic 1976, Bassmaster Classic 1984. And there is a pretty cool thing going on later with the Bass Fishing Historians, where they have a Bassmaster Classic tackle box. All you got to do is get with JR and Andy and give us a year. Say Bassmaster Classic 1976, and we might call your name later and get you in on this deal. 2 people, Andy. Hey, speaking of Andy, he's the best dang producer in the whole Bass Galaxy. He's right on the head, like a producer should be, in a red ghost clicking Fritz side. That's Andrew Ellenberger. He's a ginger ninja. Ginge, you got clicking red ghost red flit sides?
No.
Flea fly, flicky fly, flow.
Don't have any.
You don't have any, Ginge?
No.
You just got the other clickers in the special Secret Lake George color, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, I won't tell the color because I know derb season's coming up.
Yeah,
And,
we'll just leave it at that.
yeah, you got with the scientists in Spirit Lake, Iowa, and you designed a lake George in Hobart, Indiana.
Yep.
Crickety crack. That's so hard to say for me, clicking Fritz side at one time. But, man, they're just so good, Gingy. I've been clicking all over. It's pretty amazing. Hey, Gingy, did you have fun on the Gus show?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, everybody's talking about the Gus family and friend show and had an amazing time. Gingy, how about you got any that 80s show stuff for me? Mm-hmm. I got some cool stuff going on I want to tell everybody about. Oh, look at that. Gingy, I can't wait for us to get jacked up. Bob's Machine Shop coming our way soon. Jacking through shallow water. What do you think? Are you excited, Gingy? Are you excited? He is. We know it. Look at that. That was awkward. Hey, Half a Spot official. If you're not having a spot official, then go ahead. Maybe try it that way. halfaspotofficial.com. Download the app and check out what you might be missing on the official Half a Spot app. The cool thing about the Impulse Lithium. What the heck is that? The cool thing about the Impulse Lithium batteries, my favorite thing so far, besides that they last forever, is the app. The app. Like, all you do, download the thing on your smartphone, look at it, boom. Oh, hey, I got 72%. Oh, I got 83%. Oh, I got 6%. I better do something. Well, that never happens. But anyway, Impulse Lithium batteries. Thanks, Bill and Darlene Weidler. Appreciate all of that. Gingy, are you with me now? Can we get a Constantinople, Istanbul? Raise your hand if you're confident and secure. Uh-oh, Gingy, you're having technical problems. I'm sorry, Bass Galaxy. Andy's having technical problems. Are you okay for real? Okay. So, Waterland sunglasses. I'm getting a chance to check out the deal with these things, and it's this time of year we're putting them into use. Getting to seesaw some sight fishing, and Waterland sunglasses. Man, I like them. Thanks to all the boys over at Waterland for hooking us up over there. Again, omniafishing.com. I got to tell you, here's your chance. Purchase is done. Get a chance at a free Hank Cherry Signature Series rod. Can we bring in Luke Foley? How are we doing there? All right. Here we go. Ba-na-na-ba-ba-ba. Ladies and gentlemen of the Bass Galaxy, I have no idea what is happening over here. Uh-oh. Here it is. Here it comes. Oh, boy. Holy cow. It's not one, but two.
What's going on?
Brown liquor connoisseurs. Yes. It's Foles and Courtney. Welcome back, Court. Yes. The Whiskey Gypsette. How are you? I can't hear you guys. Uh-oh. Your Audeo drive is down. There you are. Good. Hey, it's Luke Foley. He's a Whiskey Gypsy. Hey, Courtney. Hi, Court. Right. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey,
good.
Guys.
It's good to see you. Did you guys have a good Easter?
We did, yeah.
How about you?
Oh, yeah. Lots of sweets. I'm still eating jelly beans.
Nothing wrong with that, Pat. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, it's amazing. What are you guys into? It's like spring here. It's almost 80 degrees in Chicago.
It's 79 right now.
Yeah.
It's something. Hey, I'm going to Murray next week for the
Are you?
Yeah, for the Bassmasters. I'm going to stop by and see you on the way through.
Okay.
Yeah, when I go down 65.
Yeah. What day?
I don't even know. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Yeah, I'm going to do like a liquor run, like Smokey and the Bandit. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the bandit.
I've done many of them.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a liquor run. How's that sound, Foles?
Sounds great.
Hey, well, it's good to see both of you again here on the Stray Cast Show on a Wednesday night. And for those of you out there that don't know, every Wednesday night, Luke and usually Courtney, and now Courtney again, come on the Stray Cast Show and give us a tin cup whiskey word of the week. And when you ever hear that word, you take a sip, and you sip responsibly, please. It could be a nice cold Coca-Cola. It could be a Cafe Con Leche, or it could be a tin cup whiskey, the official brown liquor of Bassin. Now, Foles.
Yes.
We had Bassin history. We got mystery. We got champs. We got winning baits. I mean, what's the word? What's it going to be?
I think it's going to be history because I'm a big history buff for this sport, and I think it's history. I think I kind of grew up in some of the golden years of bass fishing, the 90s and early 2000s, and history.
Okay, so wait till you see what we got worked up here. We have some bass fishing winning lure history that's going to knock your socks off. It's going to knock your socks off. Foles, we have a tackle box here with every Bassmaster Classic winning lure in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Now, you, Courtney, and you, Foles, can put your name in, put Bassmaster Classic, whatever year, and we're going to pick something out of that box. Wait till you see what's going on this deal, okay?
That's awesome.
Also, you guys can purchase a Stunna and win a Hank Cherry Signature Series Bassin Rod from Abu. All you got to do is go to omniafishing.com. That's easy. That's easy enough, right?
That's easy.
There's all kinds of stuff going on, isn't there?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Are you happy to be back, Courtney?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. It's
I missed it.
it's almost beach season. # hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying?
She loves summer.
Yeah,
she loves summer.
Why does Foley keep hashtagging hot girl summer on all his Instagram posts?
Pat,
What is that?
Who knows?
Jen-
I just
doesn't even know that.
Hey, Foles, I don't know if you saw, but
Yeah.
I want to congratulate Mike Miklos at CalSag Bass. Mike won the first event over there on the CalSag River,
that's-
and you guys
that's
are
great.
Tin Cup Whiskey's big sponsors of CalSag Bass Anglers, of course. And I'll be out there again this weekend, Saturday at the Big Lake Derb. So you got to come out to
Okay.
one of these.
Yeah,
events.
I do. I need
Yeah.
to come out to one of them.
The
I'm
boy-
gonna be in New York this week though. I got to take some people up there.
They had all your swag out there. Everybody was
Well, good.
wearing the shirts and giveaways. It was really nice to see the brand out at the deal. So congratulations to Mike Miklos. Hey, Foles, I think we pretty much got everything in here. When you hear the word history, take a sip, a Tin Cup whiskey, the official whiskey of Bassin. That's pretty cool. When you hear that, isn't it? The official whiskey of Bassin. There really is. There's no other
It is.
whiskey. You did all right with the brand, Foles.
Well, thank you. If I could tell you a quick story about the Bass Galaxy.
Oh, I would
you
love
talked
to.
about
I'd
our
love to hear it.
community. I've been having a short in my boat, and they've had some problems figuring it out. And I got stranded in the middle of Lake Monroe, and it wasn't, it was about 4 or 5 o'clock. And I called my buddy Jimmy Shepard up, and then he called Eric Hardesty. And Eric knew a guy that was fishing a tournament. His name's Lane Mullins,
Okay.
about 19 years old, and his brother's a hell of a college fisherman, Levi Mullins. And Lane came and towed me in because I had no way of getting in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got back to the ramp, fishing a tournament all day, to come out and tow a guy that you barely know. I mean, I just want to say how much I appreciated that. And then when I got back, I have no power. So I had to get some of the guys that were fishing this USA Bass, and I pulled up, and they helped me manually lift my engine. 'Cause I got a
Wow.
bad neck, and I can't do that. So
Sure.
I had
know
a
you
whole
do.
bunch of bass fishermen that were looking out for me, John Albertson, some of those guys, and I really appreciate that because I may still been out there. So I don't know, but it's no joke. I mean, we all stick together, and I know you said that, Pat, and I really don't like asking for help a lot of times, but when you're broke down the middle of the lake and you got nowhere to go, you need some help, and those guys helped me, so
And
I really appreciate it.
It's
So,
amazing, and the Bass Galaxy is there for you. It happens so many times. We hear so many stories, and I've experienced it myself. I broke down in Atlanta, right off the expressway in a pretty undesirable neighborhood, and I was there for about 6 hours, made a lot of friends, and finally the Bass Galaxy came to my rescue with the help of our bud Paul Benson and some other viewers, and things were pretty cool. So it's a small world, man, and everybody sticks together. And
they do.
that's the beauty of Bassin, bud. The fish brings us together. There it is. Hey,
Absolutely.
Bass Galaxy, give it up for Luke Foley and Courtney. There, Whiskey Gypsy and Whiskey Gypsette. Hey,
See you
Foles.
guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
Let's put the power poles down. Let's get this show on the road, you know?
Absolutely.
Couple like and shares. You're giving away a fun pouch. Also, line and lure fun pouch. We got the Champ Hank Cherry. We got the Bass and Historians, and we got Pistol Pete from Omnia.
Tell Pistol
LFG,
Pete
bud.
I'm going to send him some vodka. I've owed Pete some vodka for about
I think he might be listening.
year.
And
I'm sorry, Pete. I'll get it to you.
hey,
So.
the vodka gypsy's getting you some vodka folks. We'll be right back. Bass Galaxy, don't go anywhere.
guys.
Coming back.
Hey, guys.
There's a moment when you're faced with a challenge, and just solving the problem isn't good enough, even if that means breaking the rules and shredding apart conventional ways of thinking, all in the name of creating something truly remarkable. With this much control at its command, we didn't stop with just one. We created two incredible trolling motors. Introducing the new Power Pole Move brushless trolling motor.
This is the mountain, and this is mountain whiskey. Unspoiled, untamed, forever wild. There's no safety net, no way down. Up here, it's just man, and the mountain, and his tin cup. Tin Cup Whiskey. Mountain Whiskey.
Want to know the difference between power bait and other soft plastics? Ask the fish. Berkeley scientists have. Thousands of flavors tested on thousands of fish. Natural. Man-made. Every bait that's ever hit the water. No matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Realize your boat's potential with outboard performance accessories that improve the handling, speed, and economy of your boat. Find your perfect accessory from Bob's Machine.
Welcome back. This is the glorified version of a Bass and Talk Show. This is not the Bassmasters, but it is Winning Lures of the Bassmasters on Stray Casts. Yes, that's right. And I have assembled a band of winners here, and some people that know a little bit, thing or two about baits. That's Terry Battisti. He's up there. What's up, TB? He has no sound. He's doing something. There you are. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. He's from the Big Bass Podcast. Give it up for old TB and Bass Fishing Archives Online. That's right. We also have from the Big Bass Podcast, it's the one and only Kenny Duke. He's a bass fishing historian, all-around awesome guy, and knows everything about bass fishing.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate all that, but I can't see you on the Zoom call, and I expect there's a significant delay in your hearing me.
No, you are coming right at me live. I wish you could see me. I have a cool vintage power bait shirt on, actually.
As you always, you're always looking good. Looking good.
Well, thanks. And of course, Kenny, you work with FTR. You down with FTR, Kenny?
I am with FTR. I'm the managing editor of Fishing Tackle Retailer Magazine, and a huge fan of Pat Renwick and Pistol Pete from Omnia.
Heck yeah, with good lead-in. I like your segue. I can tell you're a podcast host. Give it up for the pistolero, the bandito of baits. That's Pistol Pete, Polish Pete, from OmniaFishing.com.
What's up, everybody? How's it going, Pat?
What's up, Pete? I'm happy. You and I have been talking nabba-da-babba-da-babba-da about getting you back on the show for a while, Pete, and here you are. And I think the last time you were on may have been with these guys and Bobby Downey and Pat Walters and a little show and tell show.
I think so. I think so.
So
glad to be back.
So good to have you back here. And we're going to talk about, of course, we have Hank Cherry coming on to join us in a little bit. He's actually at Leonardo DiCaprio's island. It's a private island. Him and Jacqueline got permission and access to. So,
nice.
Once you win back-to-back classics, you can go anywhere, Kenny Duke. You know what I mean?
I hear you. At least it's not Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah, that's true. It's all access. That would be super awkward. But anyway, Hank's joining us. Soon, and we're going to talk about tonight winning baits in history, and of course winning baits in the 23 Bassmaster Elite Series so far. Everybody knows Gussie just won on the Schmeltenator. We saw it was a bizarre Schmeltenator win. Over at the look at you, Pete. I see you got him. He's got the Schmeltenator heads, and I learned from Jamie Bruce that they're everybody says a jig head, but it ain't. It's the Schmeltenator. You know what I mean? It makes a difference. Gussie just won a classic on it. Hey, good luck to those guys in the Opens tomorrow, right?
That's right.
To all our horses in the race, and of course this year on the Elite Series, plastics, soft plastics. Cifuentes, the cowboy, he was using the old drop shotter in the Morning Dawn,
Yep.
And in the Okeechobee derb, of course, Tyler Rivette was using the Stunna. We'll talk about that later, but Stunna later. See how I did that there? But he also was punching a bug too. So soft plastics and plastic worms play a part throughout bass in history, obviously. Hey, Pete, I got to ask you, first off the bat, what do you guys think you sell the most of in the soft plastic bait category? Give me a brand, give me a type, give me a shape, whatever. What do you sell the most of out of Omnia Fishing?
Well, I would tell you, I could give you exact numbers on that, or exact who's winning, but off the top of my head, chatterbait trailers like Z-Man Razor Shads, the Kamikaze Swim On from Big Bite, Yamamoto Zako. All the chatterbait trailers are a dominant plastic now sold. You can't, the Yamamoto Senko still has not been dethroned as the number one.
Everybody's got a plethora of.
I will tell you, if the craze for the flatworm and the Maxent General didn't cause some supply chain disruption, they might have gotten right up there with those, but they're right up there with that. So I would say, right now I would still say that the worms like a Senko and trailers like the chatterbait trailers that are hot right now are the best selling segments for soft plastics.
Okay, gotcha. So that category, which is surprising, over flip baits and jig trailers and everything else. I mean, you've got chatterbait trailers and Senko type baits, stick baits.
I think that's because though, Pat, there's a ton of different trailers for jigs, so it splits them all up, and they sell better by region. I can sell a ton of net bait pocket chunks all over one region of the country, where you're selling all rage chunks in another region of the country, and a max and chigger craw in another part of the country, where something like a Yamamoto Senko or a chatterbait trailer is going to sell all over the place. And
I see what you're saying. What do you think about that, Terry? Did you expect that answer?
Yeah, I'm actually not surprised that the Senko. I mean, it's been
well, of course the Senko, but the chatterbait trailer, I didn't expect that to be right there, honestly.
I mean, you think about it. I mean, everybody throws a chatterbait.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
all over.
When you throw a chatterbait, you always throw something on it. So,
but I'm thinking flip bait. My mind's jig trailer or flip bait first. But Pete's like, oh yeah, it's a bladed jig trailer. Yeah. And absolutely.
Well, if there was one dominant trailer for a jig for all around the country, I bet you that would be it. But jig trailers get a little bit more, and flipping baits get a little bit more regional. There's different best sellers. In Minnesota here, the craw tube's the best selling flipping bait there is.
Yeah.
Try and find it. We can't sell them in any other state. It goes right to something else.
They don't need it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's because they don't throw it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Terry, what do you think? I mean, Kenny, what do you think about that, bud? I mean, about that being the winning bait, as far as soft plastics in sales.
I guess that doesn't surprise me at all. The history of soft plastics. I'm always amazed by how soft plastics come in and out of fashion.
Yeah.
When everybody here except Polish Pete was young, the hot colors were black, purple, and that maybe tequila sunrise,
Scoopernong. We had a little Scoopernong.
Scoopernong was hot,
yes.
But a lot of those colors have completely faded from history and are not used anymore. Only two colors, in my opinion, have really maintained their fashion from their inception, and that's been black and green pumpkin.
Yeah. I agree with that. That's a great.
But I mean, but then you look at the West Coast, and I mean, we threw a 5.5 inch or 6 inch twister phenom in black and purple or grape. We threw some mans and black grape and stuff like that. But we were all hand pours, and I'm talking from the late 70s through the 90s. And I mean, tequila sunrise was a color that came out by a buddy of mine, John Viazanko, in like 1984.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, and then you have cinnamon with a black line or cinnamon with a blue line. You couldn't sell a standard worm in California, Arizona, or Nevada, because we were all into the hand pour craze, which to us, it wasn't a craze. It was just what we caught fish on.
It was a way of life.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
The hand pour way of life.
We caught on to that in Minnesota about 3 years ago. So we were a little bit of behind the times.
Hey, Pete, do you have Man's jelly worms in your skew?
I don't think so. That one doesn't sound familiar. I used to be the type of guy that could rattle off just about everything we had and where it was and every color. But I think when we passed about 15,000 SKUs, I realized my age, that the kids, Jacob and Joe, the young guys that work for us, they're now the way I was when I could remember all. They can go through every single bait we got. We're over 25,000 SKUs now and growing. And those kids can pick off everything. And I always wondered how the guys I worked with when I was in the industry and other roles didn't know every single gear ratio of every reel we had, and every bearing count and all that stuff. And now I'm that guy. I'm starting to be like, I don't know if we have Man's jelly worms or not. I'm pretty sure we don't. I don't think we have much Man's stuff at all.
The Man's jelly worm, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, it seemed it was the first for a lack of better way to put it, the first mass-produced, the first softest mass-produced worm. Everything else may have been a little on the hard side, and this was the first supple worm, that jelly worm, especially with its color patterns. I don't know.
I'm not going to argue with you about much of that, Pat, but I will say the first successful mass-produced plastic worm would have been the old cream wiggle worm.
Yeah, yes, and I agree with that, but I'm saying as far as its consistency and its colors and its how soft the plastic was, I think that man's jelly worm might have been the first worm in that type of category. I don't know.
It was certainly the first one that I used when I was coming up, which is a few years before you, obviously, because you're a very young man, very virile.
Feral, maybe
vibrant.
feral. I don't know about virile. But anyway,
and feral.
Yes, and feral.
And definitely feral, raised by wolves. That's okay. The jelly worm was wildly
I see what
successful.
you got there, Terry. What is that, Terry? Oh, there's the jelly worms. You got
those are old cream baits there, and
those are creams.
Yeah.
Oh, these are jelly worms.
Okay, I'm sorry. I see the jelly worms now.
Okay.
Yeah. Here are the creams.
Okay. There. Oh, you both
And,
got the wiggle rigs. You're showing off your wiggle rigs on live bass fishing talk shows. I like it. I like it. And you got a floater. You got a floating wiggle rig.
I'm still dealing with a bit of a delay because I have zero technical skills, but
it's coming out okay. It's fine.
Yeah, at least you guys can see it. That's cool. I'm glad for that. So
on the cream worms, are they as soft as the jelly worms? That's my question. I don't remember the cream worms being as soft as the jelly worms.
They're pretty dang soft, Pat.
Okay. I just didn't have experience with them.
You would not be ashamed to throw them. Yeah, you would not be ashamed to throw these baits.
Gotcha.
And hey, by the time the bass hits them, who cares how soft they are? Set the damn hook.
I think I got in trouble for eating jelly worms when I was a kid. My mom grounded me. They were so delicious looking. You can't blame me.
They do look good.
Yeah, they're really good looking.
Yeah, I'm with Ken on the whole softness of the cream. It was a soft bait. Now, if you want to talk a hard bait back then, it would have been a DeLong. I mean, they were as hard as and there's a DeLong.
Oh wow, yeah.
Snake.
Look at that,
and
Pete.
You could drive that into a 2x4 with a hammer.
Were you crawling that through the pad stems in Lake Jackson?
I did not get to fish Lake Jackson in the prime, and these will never get wet actually because these are pretty hard to come by. These old DeLong snakes.
How long are those?
That's kind of a personal. Oh, we're talking about the worms.
Yeah.
These are about 13, 14 inches long. I'll measure them while you guys.
Hashtag blessed.
I think it's 16 inches.
It might be 16. Yeah.
Okay.
You might have to pull your pants down to measure it, Ken.
Yikes.
That's
yeah. Am I getting charged to be on this podcast?
You'll get a bill.
Pete, it's like the comedy hour in Minnesota. You didn't even have to go to the Twin Cities. You got these two guys
enough for this show.
Yeah, you got these two guys, Pete.
I'm worried about that.
All I can think about is what the hell hook did they put in that damn thing?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, this hook on this, well, some of them don't have a hook. They're really thin tubes are not pre-rigged. The others, the bigger tubes,
like pre-rigged ones.
Yeah, they're pre-rigged. They've got two hooks. One is just about 3 inches down the worm. The other is probably about 7 inches down the worm. And of course, operating on the theory that I think we all believe in, that a bass hits the head of the bait.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, I'd say these are probably about 4/0 Sprout hooks.
Interesting.
They're pretty sturdy.
And they're weedless design.
No, sir. These are exposed.
Oh, really?
They are indeed. These are exposed. If they ever had a weedless version, I don't have any of those.
I'm the 16-inch snake. That is a Florida, old school Florida, North Florida special. You know what I mean? The guys in Leonard Skinner used to throw that worm, if you know what I'm saying.
Hey, don't ask me any questions. If you want to talk fishing, well, I guess that'll be okay.
Don't ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies. That's Leonard Skinner. Right?
That's a Skinner song right there. He says, if you want to talk fishing, well, I guess that'll be okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that lyric.
Oh, you're awesome, guys. Hey, Terry, what lure won the first ever bass fishing tournament?
Bass fishing tournament?
Yeah, Terry.
We went through this.
I know. I knew I'd get a reaction out of Kenny.
Purple Foot-tail Worm by Bill Dance 2 minutes into the first tournament on Beaver Lake.
That's not the question he asked.
He said the first bass tournament.
He
Well,
said what won. That didn't win. That finished second.
He didn't pay attention in
I've got
class.
that. I actually have that. It's this bait right
Terry,
here.
Oh, stop, Terry. Stop. You're wrong. And we move on now.
Okay.
No,
we move
it's
on.
this. It's this. It's,
we move on to someone. We move on.
Andy,
to
where's
someone
the
who
buzzer?
correctly answered the
Wait,
question.
what? Pipe Terry down. Do you have shock therapy for him?
Terry has missed his opportunity.
Okay.
Excellent. Terry's now muted. I like it.
Ken Duke has the floor.
I gotta get a mute button for our podcast, Pat.
Yeah, you do. You got to
Like,
flop,
'cause
flop,
Terry
flow high
just
him.
goes and goes and goes. He won't let me get a word in edgewise in our podcast. It's terrible. But, the bomber spin stick won the first one.
Okay, and
Which
that
is
was
right
the
here in
first.
my hand.
The first BASS tournament.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's not
Oh,
the
no,
answer to
not
who won the first
BASS
bass
tournament.
Just bass tournament. Just
The
a bass.
first-
Well, we don't know. We don't know because
Yeah.
we don't know what was the first bass tournament.
Okay.
Was the first bass tournament a couple of Native Americans saying, "I bet I can catch more of those things than you can"?
Yeah, on Thanksgiving.
Plus, you got the Jameson tournament in 1911. That was between Decker and Jameson. Plus, you've got what I believe was the first bass tournament.
Here it is.
1906.
There it
out of
is.
New
It's at the
Hampshire.
fishing derby. They gave a catfish cup out too.
What was the lure on that, or was there? Did they allow live
Jameson
baits?
Coaxer is what won the tournament. If you ask Jameson,
Okay.
but if you ask Decker, it was Decker's topwater lure.
It's always
As
going.
usual. as
Always
usual, you have
arguing.
multiple
Back
people
to the
claiming-
beginning of time. Always
you
arguing,
have
aren't they?
People complaining about bass tournament results as usual.
Always getting at it. I'm telling you. Hey, Pete, isn't so? Let's say, for example, that first bass tournament was won on that what was the twin spin? What was it?
Bomber spin stick.
Okay,
That's the first Ray Scott tournament in 1967
I'm
on
with you.
Beaver Lake in Arkansas.
Was the spin stick. Now, imagine this, Pete. What do you think happened when that Bassmaster magazine came out?
Yep.
And they were talking.
I bet you the manufacturer shipped like shit, and I got yelled at.
Pete, you get yelled at a lot, and you go to a lot of meetings. You and I need to fish. I have therapy for you.
Yeah. No, we go. I mean, it. A lot of people outside of the industry think it gets overhyped in our world. It's actually underhyped a little bit. The lift you see around even the category of baits is pretty impressive. And those who race to the front, you get a lot of attention from outside. For example, when Gussie won in Knoxville the first time, not the Classic, when he won his Elite Series event there, at the time, we were the only retailer with Smeltinator in the United States. Zona shouted us out, and I had known about him because me and Seth had been fishing with him, and through our friends and all that stuff. I was throwing the little tiny ones on little 3-inch like spark sheds as a sturgeon bay thing, and nothing to do with the moping technique. I was off on that completely. So we had a lot of smaller sizes, and it was more about dragging a tiny little swim bait. But when that happened, even from just our little, and we were a much smaller company at that point too. We're only a few years old. We had so much attention from other parts of the country that we had other jig manufacturers make similar jigs to the Smeltinator, try knocking it off right away, selling them into us, and it lifted sales for dirty jigs and greenfish and lots of different manufacturers in that same category immediately. So. Does a bait manufacturer make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars? Not every single time, but as a whole, throughout the whole category, it can be a huge, huge impact. It's a bigger deal than people realize.
Yeah, I mean, and here's a crazy example. I know Bassmaster Classics have influenced sales. I know regular tournaments have influenced sales, but think about this. Here's an example because I'm a winder, so I really noticed this one. When Takahiro won the bass event on Lake Martin, you could not find a red square bill by any manufacturer anywhere. You couldn't. It's like you could not find a red cross square bill anywhere. And like from a BASS event, it drove tackle sales that much through that category, just like you were saying, Pete. That's nuts.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, and it's hard. This industry, it's not, as much as us in it always talk about it. It's small. We all know each other and all that stuff. It is true to the fact that a lot of the manufacturers aren't as big and capital rich as people think, where they could just turn on 500 machines and just mass produce this stuff in the blink of an eye. So sometimes I wonder if it helps a little bit that it builds up demand, that there's not this ready availability of every scented jerk shad on the planet that's out there right now to buy. Trust me, I met with those guys today.
Okay.
We're trying to buy. We've been through 2 pallet loads already at Omnia, and I can't get any more right now. We're waiting for more. They've got to react to it and turn it on and go. And so, but the demand is there, and it gets built because maybe it's not so readily available. It makes it a little bit funner for all of us around to see, who can capitalize on a win like that the best.
Now, Pete, I hope our historians know this answer, but I'd like you to take a stab at this first. And
oh, great.
Yeah. If you had to guess, what do you believe has won more bass and derbs throughout time? Like hard baits, like plugs, jerk baits, crankbaits, or your soft bait categories, like your plastic worms, your, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
soft
do.
plastics or hard baits.
Are you considering in the hard bait category things like wire baits, jigs, and things like that?
Yeah,
or are you
yeah.
just
Wire
saying
baits and jigs are still in hard baits.
hard bait category? Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
If you did that, then I would say hard baits for sure, and maybe even hard baits would run at it. If not, I think there's been periods of time where soft plastics seem to dominate, but I don't know. Just from my memory of when I got into bass fishing later in my life, in my 20s, that Kevin Van Dam's prime and all that. I feel like a lot of winding tournaments got won that way. Spinner baits and jigs, and trying to think. Man,
you just tell me. I mean, hard baits or soft baits? What do you think?
Man, you're killing me.
Come on, it doesn't matter.
If you're putting wire baits in there and everything, I'm gonna say hard baits.
Okay, hard baits. Now, Terry or Kenny, who's handling this one? Who knows the answer? Raise your hand, gentlemen. Oh, okay, Terry. See, you're on a delay, Ken. You're not going to win. You better shape up for the game.
Classic standpoint, do you want the rundown?
No.
It's not
I thought it was
classic
Bassmaster
question,
tournament.
Overall BASS.
BASS terms.
Okay, yeah. If you're going to include wire baits and jigs and stuff, it is hard baits.
It's hard baits. Okay.
That's what I guess.
But more specifically, I think if you had to really narrow it down, I think the jig has won more BASS events than anything else.
Really? That's cool.
Okay.
I did not know that.
The jig has.
I believe so.
Gotcha.
God, I can only think of Hackney's recently. Who else?
Oh, Bo Dowden.
Well, when Flippin took over the competitive bass fishing world in the late 70s, almost everything was being won on a jig.
Okay.
For a while, it was jig and pork. As plastics improved and pork became harder to come by, it became soft plastic trailers. But I think, and Bass published a list one time that I don't think was very authoritative back in the 90s. And I'm working on creating such a list that I think will be better.
Okay.
I like it. I believe that jigs are number 1 and that plastic worms are going to be number 2. Some form of soft plastic worm or.
And this is Bassmaster Classics or all derbs?
No, this is all Bass Derbies. If you want to go strictly on what style of bait has won more Bassmaster Classics than anything else, that is actually a diving crankbait.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
17 classics have been won on diving crankbaits.
Wow.
Or had a big part to play in those 17 wins.
When was the last one?
That would be 24. 24 classics. 24 classic winners credited a crankbait for at least part of their catch. 24.
What was the last classic one on a diving hard bait?
2019. So that would have been, in 19, that was Ott. He was.
Oh yeah,
and then Hank, and then Hank.
Are you including vibration baits and crankbaits?
That's where
I'm counting lipless baits. I'm counting separately.
Okay.
Lipless baits have been used in 5 classic wins.
Yeah, and then
I have 3.
That's cool.
So I know.
What do you have?
So I
love this because I get to correct Terry.
So I have 07, 10, and 19.
Well, you're forgetting 72 and 92. because in 72,
72
Don-
was one on a SOB spinnerbait.
it was, but he was also throwing a Robert Richardson's Buckeye Shad. And he was, and in 92, Robert Hamilton was throwing a
do nothing worm.
Well, he was throwing.
Oh, that was Jack Chancellor.
Hamilton
But,
Jr. was throwing a Cordell Super Spot. Okay,
Yes.
you got me on that.
Yes.
Got ya. All right.
And I know these now. Sometimes these baits were not necessarily published, but I actually spoke to the winners about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And didn't Bob Hamilton?
That's where Ken Duke has me, is he gets to speak to all these guys.
That's
and
right.
I'm just relying on Bassmaster.
They don't have working telephones where Terry lives.
Now, Terry, I don't know.
And he's a shut-in. He's a hermit.
That's amazing. Hey, you guys know that Bob Hamilton actually bought that lipless crankbait from the devil. Isn't that true? He did. Some say.
Well, yeah. Shout out to Mark Jeffries and his 20 Feet Deep series. That's, I think perhaps the best bass fishing documentary I've ever seen.
It's creepy good. I mean, creepy good. That's all I can. Have you ever seen it, Pete?
No, that's how I was interested.
So Mark Jeffries, the former host of Bass Talk Live,
Yeah.
did the 20 Foot Deep series, and he did a deal on Bob Hamilton. What year did he win the Classic?
92.
92 Bassmaster Classic, and allegedly he made a deal with the devil to win the Bassmaster Classic. And
Really?
yeah, if you haven't seen it,
Well,
or whatever, I don't know. You go ahead. It's real brief. I don't want to get into this too much, but tell the brief in a nutshell, Kenny.
Well, Hamilton had a lot of back problems, and he became addicted to opioids. And when he won that classic, he was already having some serious issues, and suddenly he had the financial wherewithal to buy whatever he wanted. But he said he left that classic, and he saw somebody in a darkened alley or parking lot that he believed was the devil.
Yeah. Well, my story is way more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was trying to get a bunch of people to watch Jeffrey's deal.
Everybody should watch it.
Yeah, they really
And
should.
You should watch it because it's
I
a
will.
terrific show.
Pete,
And I
you'll
don't
like
say
it.
that only because I have a tiny part in it.
Gotcha.
I
want
play
to
the devil.
Oh, do you?
He actually plays Beelzebub in the.
I'll
Are
trust
you
guys
Robert
on
Hamilton?
I'll trust you guys on it. I got about 20 buddies that have made a deal with the devil to win a club tournament, like a 12-boat derby.
Oh yeah, exactly. Only 12 boats.
Yeah.
Tuesday night, they're making deals, sacrificing things. You know what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey,
That sounds cool.
Every single one of you guys, and I mean no disrespect by this, at one point in your life or another, have been called jerks, right?
What?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have.
Not to my knowledge.
Well, not.
Never.
Yeah. Well, I sure have. And
How about today?
Yeah.
How about today?
The last 10 minutes.
yeah. And
Batiste has called me that. Another person on your show has called me that today.
and
amongst much worse.
yeah, much worse. And all three of you gentlemen have thrown jerkbaits before. 100%. I know. So, like, if considering the art of jerkbait fishing, scale of 1 to 10, Pete Prespiora.
Yeah.
How are you as a jerkbait fisherman? Scale 1 to 10.
Honestly, it's crazy because it's not a confidence thing for me. I don't like fishing a jerkbait that much. Sorry, Hank Cherry, when you come on.
It's a lot of work.
It's not my thing, but I actually have I've done a lot better with a jerkbait than I wish I'd had. Seth picks on me all the time. He's like, your boat's not going to sink if you got jerkbaits in it, Pete, because I never bring them and I end up needing them and I steal his all the time. I would say that's in the 6 or 7 for me. I'm all right with a jerkbait.
Okay. So your skill level's pretty good. Kenny Duke, how are you with the old Twitch?
Oh, I'd say I'm outstanding. I'm probably a 2.
A 2.
No, I mean, I love jerkbaits. I don't throw jerkbaits here in Florida as much as I used to when I lived other places because we have so much grass. But quite honestly, I throw a lot of long A bombers.
Okay, yeah, some floaters, sure.
And use them more like twitch baits
Yep.
than as a conventional jerkbait.
Yeah,
so I throw jerkbaits like that quite a bit.
But you're still giving yourself a 2.
No, I don't know. I've had the great privilege of having been able to fish with some amazing fishermen through the years, and so I've gotten some advanced training. I'd like to think I would rise to the level of, as far as amateur guys go, I'd like to think I at least rise to the level of a 4 or a 5.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's probably wildly.
I like your
exaggerated.
confidence in your style, and
I bet Pete's probably a 7 or an 8. Batisi's probably a 7, 8, maybe a 9.
9. Are you a 9er? How are you? Are you a dime? Are you a dime piece on the jerk baits, Terry?
I would consider myself an 8. It's
Whoa.
of all the fishing that I've done.
Wow.
Jerkbait fishing is probably my favorite way to catch fish.
Okay.
And this is the bait that got the whole jerkbait craze started. That's a Mag 13 Rapala.
Wow.
That Jimmy Crisp used to win the 1986 U.S. Open or U.S. Bass event on Table Rock.
Table Rock, cool.
Holy
really
cow.
cool.
That's the 1980s.
Well.
Wait a minute. This just in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the champ, the king of jerkbaits. It's the one and only two-time Bassmaster Classic winner. It's Hank Cherry.
The man who's a 14 on a scale of 10.
I was going to say, can
he's
I
off
change my
the
answer
scale.
now? I didn't know he was going to be on before I gave my answer.
Interrupted now. I heard that.
Hank, has Jacqueline ever called you a jerk before? Hey, there she is.
And just to make it clear, in 2020, when I won at Gunnersville, I did catch some on a crankbait on the Rip Rap.
That's right.
Really?
That's right.
Oh, so now we got to update our shit, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Actually, no, Terry, I don't have to update it because I've already spoken with Hank about this. I already have the list.
You're a jerk, Ken.
He does.
Well, Hank, thank you so much for taking time. You're on vacation right now. Where are you, Hank?
We are at Isle of Palms in South Carolina with another family of friends. We're just having a good time, just relaxing. The weather's been okay, but the company's been great.
You're getting your head right for Lake Murray, aren't you?
I am so excited to get there. I can't tell you how much.
Nice. We can't wait to see you there either, bud. And it's a pretty cool deal tonight. We brought you on here tonight, not only being a friend of the show, but a two-time Bassmaster Classic champion, and you do know a few things about jerkbaits. You know what I mean? I'd say you throw them a bit. You throw them a bit, Hank.
I do. I enjoy it. There's always something about catching that fish that was before forward-facing sonar was just so hard to catch, and it's just something that I just got pretty good at.
All right. I like it.
So.
Hey, Z, you know how a lot of people say describe bites? Describe the bite. Like, like Hackney go like, Patty was kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, so just, you know what I mean? How Hackney would do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Describe a jerkbait bite to me, Hank.
The best jerkbait bite to me is kind of like when you're a kid on a bank fishing for catfish and you see that line jump when they hit that bait on the bottom. That to me is the best jerkbait bite. When
it really is.
Line, you see that line jump, you know he's got it, and you set the hook and you're like, oh, there he is. Now the worst jerkbait bite is when you're doing your cadence and you go to move the bait and you just whip about 5 feet of slack. That usually never comes out good. That fish usually jumps. You get to tell your buddy, you see how big that one was? There he goes. You never catch that fish.
Oh, gosh. Those are the heartbreaking bites right there. The heartbreakers. Yeah. That's for sure. Well, Hank, you have helped design one of the most successful jerkbaits of all time. The Stunna's winning derbs. It's everybody, I mean, let's just be real. Everybody loves the Mega Bass, the Vision 110. That's an amazing bait, but boy, is that Stunna making a stamp, bud. That's got to feel good to you, doesn't it?
It feels real good just to have the opportunity to put a few extra things into something that I really wanted, and then to have my name and picture on the back, and then the proof being the pudding with people all across the country catching fish on it. It's just another check mark on that lifelong dream when I started down this road of something that I wanted to do, and I'm very, very happy with it.
Yeah, and if I must confess, or may confess, I suck at jerkbait fishing. I do it and I can catch fish at it, and I do it when I have to do it. But I'd much rather wind a plug, like you were at Gunnersville, mixing it up. But I'm on the winding the plug deal more often. But but I got to tell you, man, I catch more fish on the stunner than I did on the 110. And I'm not a jerkbait fisherman. I just think the stunner might be more user friendly too for a guy like me with the slow sink. I don't know. Pete, what do you think? Are you guys selling a bunch of stunners when you get them in stock?
Yeah, it's actually it had been a challenge for a while. It's funny. No lie. Pat talked to me about doing this yesterday, and we got a big shipment of stunners in yesterday. They went in today before I left the shop because I was walking out the door after I grabbed myself. This is actually supposed to be mine, Hank, but I'm going to give it to somebody else, steal another one. But I grabbed Hank's. We got the Pro Series rods in, but we were talking to Pat, and Pat said, I think I might get Hank on. And I said, cool. We just got stunners. So I had the warehouse guys put them in before I left. So they switched some stuff up. It was nice. They got them in stock now. But
you got a pile of them or what? You got a pile?
Oh yeah. We got a lot. We got them all. There's only one color of the whole assortment in the +1 and the standard missing. So got them all. So
okay.
Which is the first time all year it has become right there at the top of the pyramid as far as hard baits go for us. As far as speed and cadence it turns, we order them we clean out every distributor each week we can get them from, and we sell them direct through Pure Fishing like crazy. So good job, Hank. Thanks.
Good design, Hank. Good job. Yes, absolutely. Well, here's what's cool. Now, obviously, Pete, it ain't no trouble. Everybody's throwing the stunner, but what you at Omnia Fishing, tell everybody what you're doing for Hank Cherry fans and Stray Cast viewers.
Yeah,
and listeners.
This is a personal thing. I cooked this up when Pat talked to me because
full credit is Peter's. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I'll call it out right now. So Seth's a good buddy of mine, and he designed a jerkbait rod that's a 6'9" medium light, and it's like super bendy, like it's super, super parabolic. And I pick on him all the time because I like a little bit longer rod with a little bit more meat behind it. I think I can make the bait move a little better. I don't think it wears me out as much, and I kind of can tell what the bait's doing a little bit better. I like that personally myself.
Okay.
And I think Hank's got the coolest jerkbait rod on the market right now. Personally, I really do.
Well, you brought it home, I see. So
yeah. So I was thinking, we got the stunners in yesterday. Literally, they're in stock now. So it was like, hey, we're gonna burn through them, but let's have some fun with it. So one lucky listener tonight. So I'll tell you how we'll do it while supplies last. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think I'm joking, go on the site right now. You'll see everything's loaded for bear. But we burned through them pretty fast, and things are selling really well. We're in the heat of the season right now, so we're probably going to be gone tomorrow at some point. But whoever buys a stunner through tonight, all the way to midnight tomorrow, we're going to pull all the orders. We're going to randomly select a winner, but we're going to email them first because we get your email.
This is so complicated. What is going on?
No, all you got to do is buy a stunner. We'll hit you up, and if you were a listener of the show, we'll probably quiz you a little bit. Then we're gonna mail you with your stunner. We're gonna mail you, or your bunch of stunners, whatever you buy. We'll mail you your Hank Cherry Signature Series rod. So
nice. Okay, thanks Omnia Fishing. I like that. That's very nice of you. So
that's good stuff.
So in a nutshell, this is me in a nutshell. Get me out of this nutshell. So all you have to do is go to Omnia Fishing.
Yep.
Buy a stunner. One stunner. How much is a stunner?
$15.
$15, and you got a chance to win a Hank Cherry Signature Series 7-foot jerk rod, which is a pretty sweet bassin piece of machinery, if I must say so. Now get this. Wait, there's more. Andy, you got any? But wait, there's mores. You know how they do that. But wait, there's more. If you act now, you get a free jade elephant. Remember that, Hank? Remember those commercials, Terry? But wait, there's more. Courtesy of Abu Garcia in Stray Cast. If you buy any Abu Garcia Pro Series rod from Omnia Fishing, we're going to do the same thing that Pete was talking about with the little randomizer deal. And we are going to send you another rod. We'll send you a Hank Cherry Signature Series rod. All you got to do is, yeah, that's on us, Pete. That's on Stray Cast and on Abu Garcia Fishing. And Hank, actually, Jacqueline's going in Hank's boat when they get
Screw you guys. I'm gonna go buy some freaking bait.
Now, to clarify, this does go on till tomorrow at midnight. So when Andy puts,
so I can wait.
Yeah, well, no, do it now. Just go. I don't care. Everybody, stop watching. Go to Omnia, buy the stunners. We don't care. But for the podcast listeners, this does go on until tomorrow at midnight. So if you're listening tomorrow on the pod, as the hip kids say, you're still eligible. So buy a stunner, win a Hank Cherry rod, buy any Abu Garcia Signature Series rod, win a Hank Cherry rod. It's that simple.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's that simple. What do you think about that, Hank?
I like it, and a lot of people were questioning why I did the rod the way I did it and the way I wanted it. Even the guys at Abu Garcia, there was just certain things that I wanted in the rod, and I always felt like a little to always err on a little heavier. And when I got the bend right and when I got the rod right, actually that was the very first one. That's the test model, the very first prototype. And I was like, you got it on the first run.
Nice.
And see, what people don't understand is I fish a lot in the winter, especially around the home, and we do a lot of shallow cranking. So I'll have 4 or 5 of them up there, and 2 or 3 of them have jerk baits on them, and the other 2 will have that square bull in there for me. And I pick up, and I've got the same rod in my hand for what I'm doing all day. So I'm not mixing around switching, because I'm one of those guys that likes to have the same feel every time I pick up the rod.
Yeah.
So, Hank, can you explain the action of the rod and the length of the rod?
Yeah, it's a 7 foot, but it's a medium moderate. So what that does, from actually taking my son fishing and people that don't fish a whole lot and younger people, the action on the rod actually allows them to throw the bait further because of the catapult on it. Jay Kumar was the one that called me. He's like, I can't believe how far I can cast this thing. Well, that's the one thing
Nice.
that I wanted. Well, just when you're jerkbait fishing, one of the big keys, especially in open water, is to get the bait away from the boat. That's one thing that I see people have a lot of problems with, is actually making a good long cast. And I think that rod just helps catapult the bait out there. And then plus it's got enough backbone in that back 60% to where if you hook a big one on a long cast, you still can drive the hooks through them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I have to call this out too for rod nerds like myself. The rod's not painted with 45 coats of paint either. So
Nope.
It's nice and light and sensitive. You can feel stuff. And I'm a big proponent of knowing my bait. I know that's a lot of treble hook guys get mad at me when I say they say you shouldn't have to feel what's going on. I think this rod is super crisp and alive feeling. So you kind of know what's going on. If you're someone like me, the rod's got a real old school graphite rod feel of like real true sensitivity versus just being pretty looking,
Yeah, good way to put it, Pete. It really is. It's a weapon, ain't it, Hank? Yeah. It's just a straight out dang weapon. # weapon.
Well, I like it. And like I said, everybody has their own little style, but one big key for me, especially with that rod, jerk baiting it all, is after I twitch the bait or jerk the bait or stroke the bait, no matter how hard I do it, I don't like a lot of vibration in that tip, because then I don't feel like I can watch my line and I can see what's going on. I like it when I stop working it, I want the rod to stop working.
Yeah.
When I start it back up, I want the rod to work.
Okay. I like what you're saying there on that. So here's a couple things I noticed about observing the way that you fish a jerkbait, Hank, and bass fishing geeks like the 2 bass fishing historians there and Pistol Pete notice this kind of stuff. So you use both jerkbaits equally as much, but in different situations. And by that, I mean the long bill and the shorter bill. And also you use heavier line than a lot of people might use throwing a jerkbait. And also you use a fast reel when fishing a jerkbait. Am I correct on all those observations I've made of you?
100% correct. And people question me on the reel all the time, but they got to understand, when you're fishing a jerkbait, you're never moving the bait with the reel. You're letting the rod do the work. You just take up line. And like I said, on those line jump bites, on those long casts, I can take up more slack in my line to get the bait going. And if one does strike me weird, I have a better shot at cranking down on fast and pulling back than having to wind my shoulder off just to catch back up to watch him jump and throw the bait.
Makes perfect sense. Yes, yes. What about the heavy line?
Well, I had a fish loss back in 2013 at Grand Lake in the class.
Hey, Kenny, you got to call him.
Yeah, well, I was there. I saw it. I thought it was, for the record, Hank, I thought it was cruel for them to replay that while you were on the stage.
Yeah.
Well, they did, but
Jacqueline's with you on that one. Yes, Kenny.
From that point on, I was done with the light line thing. And when the Alabama rig came out, I was like, how smart can they actually be if they're going up hitting this clothes hanger with baits hanging off of it? And I realized by trial and error, going up to 12 and 15, I'm not changing the action that much. I mean, it's not. You can look at it. I can still make it dance, make it cut, do whatever I want, and I can still get the cast out of it. But I noticed right away fish losses, because you're going to lose some with the jerkbait no matter what you're throwing, where you're throwing it, how you're throwing it. But I noticed the losses just go down. Now, I do go through more hooks probably than most people, but I would rather change a hook than lose a 4-pounder.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the depth of the baits going? How much depth are you losing by fishing 12 or 15 as opposed to 8 or 10?
I don't think I lose any, because I think the misconception with the bait and jerking is you have to pay attention, because on any given day, considering the circumstances outside, how rough the water is, whether the wind's blowing with you, not with you, all that contributes to how far you're getting the bait down. And if there's days where I need to get it further, like I manipulate, easiest way to do it for me is just change the hooks. I'll just go a little bigger. I never go smaller. I'll go a little bigger.
Well,
okay.
Plus the stunner is a slow sinking bait. So
it is, but still people look at that. I can't fish a slow sinking bait. They say it around grass. People tell me, well, you should never throw a sinking bait around grass. Well, if that's the case, I think every bladed jig sinks and it comes through the grass. I think every lipless bait pretty much sinks and you rip it through the grass. So when I'm fishing grass 4 to 6 foot, I'm ripping it through the grass. I don't want to keep it above it, especially if they're buried in it. I want to hit the top of it and rip it through. So I think all that can be changed and manipulated by the angle of which you actually jerk the bait.
Interesting.
Like you hear people say they can't jerk because they want to jerk straight down. That's why they hit the water. Well, necessarily, you don't always need to be jerking straight down. Sometimes you might be jerking straight to the side. Sometimes if I want to go shallower, I might be jerking upwards. But I'm still making the bait manipulate and do the same thing.
Yeah.
You ever go bigger than 15? Like, do you ever go big line on it?
Sometimes I will go to, like, if I want to act more like a jerk shad or a fluke style bait, I'll go to 17 and just to kill the action, just to get it to glide left and right. I do that a lot at home when it gets cold, like into like the 40s. That's when I'll put the bigger hooks on it, maybe even go to 4s. And I'm not looking for any kind of shimmy or anything. I just want it to glide like a fluke. But the deal is with that, you fish something like a jerk shad, and if you have it fishing over brush and you got one big hook in it, your hookup ratio is not always the best, especially when it's cold, because you just can't see the bite, the jerk on it. Well, you fish that jerk bait like a fluke, and they come and nip at it. Those hooks, especially with fusions, they get them.
So let me ask another question. Do you have any use for a floating jerk bait these days? Like
I guess there's some that I play with that I manipulate that are probably just a little bit younger than I am, that serve certain purposes that I don't really talk about. But there have been occasions where that's been that's been
sneaky.
Handy. But those baits
those
baits aren't really produced anymore.
Yeah, but
you showed one earlier.
But you have the ability to produce a floating stunner.
Yes, we do have that.
No, you don't. Well, no, you don't. I'll tell you why. Because no, I'm gonna. And Hank's gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong here. Because the coolest thing, I had the great privilege of going up to Spirit Lake, Iowa, when the stunner was brand new, and I got to see it in the tank. Where Hank, no doubt, you spent hours testing that thing. And to me, the coolest thing about the stunner is that little shudder it makes.
Yeah.
A floating bait won't do that. Am I right?
No. You could get it to dart when you pull it down, but when it comes up, you still not have the same action when you kill it. And I believe that shimmy as it sinks is one reason why they eat it so good.
I think I've never seen another bait do that now. So you can't have a floating stunner, Terry. It won't be a stunner.
It won't
anymore.
stunner. It's going to be a
Okay, but
yeah.
But he has
But
the
no, I'm
ability.
not done.
He has the
Done.
ability to design a floating jerkbait, which in
Yeah, but you said stunner, and so you're wrong. And
Well,
it's not a point
Hey,
for
you
me.
guys can fight on your own podcast, okay? Go.
why do you hate me, Ken?
Yeah. hey, Hank, you gotta realize, man, these guys, I mean, you know, his name's Kenny Duke. His Dukes are always up. Yeah. And Terry, he's just ready to brawl. He's like 7'3", like a Sam Squanch from the West. You know what I mean?
Hank's known me a long time. Ask Hank who covered his first win and his second win and his third win and who was there for number 4 and 5.
Yeah, probably you.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
He came up to me after winning the classic. He said, I know you're busy, but I'm gonna tell you something that's never been done before. You're the first angler to ever win a Bassmaster Classic with the Abu Garcia rod and reel.
Wow.
Really?
Now I had a question, Hank, with regard to the jerkbait. That little shimmy or shutter that you're talking about. Was that something you had in mind in the design process, or had you seen it in another bait somewhere?
No, that's something I thought was needed, because I always pictured like a flutter spoon and I'd watch it go down. And I was like, man, if you could kind of simulate that action into a jerkbait, especially when they're really, really on that shad bite, and especially when it's cold and they're dying off, it would kind of fall down. And the secret behind the stunner that people don't understand, and I'm going to brag on Dan for a minute, Spangler, the Mad Mind, out there at Spirit Lake. We did all this over Zoom and text and just videos. Wow. We built the whole thing by Zoom and text and videos.
That's outstanding.
Spangler's a talented guy.
So there's actually a bait out of Japan, and they may still be in business. It was called Zip Baits, and they made a jerkbait that I probably got 40 or 50 of them in my boat.
You like
actually
it?
When it stopped, it did that shimmy, that wobble, and the smallmouth ate the hell out of it. But it was a small bait. It was only 80 millimeters long. But so yeah, and your bait's the only other one that I've seen that actually does that, which is really cool.
Seeing it in that Spirit Lake Berkeley test tank in crystal clear water where you're down below the bait. Yep. That's very cool. Very cool.
If you had a guess, Hank, how many stunners do you think have been sold since its inception?
Worldwide or just in the U.S.?
Worldwide, total. I mean, total.
Man, I have no idea, because we've gotten messages from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Mexico. I mean, countries are all Sweden, everywhere, about how good the bait is and all these fish they've caught on that I never dreamed they would take it to catch with. I mean, I have no idea. I could not guess.
Okay, I think I'll accept that answer, and that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? If you design a bait, I asked David Fritz the same thing, and he's like, I don't even know, Pat. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then he spit tobacco. It's the same thing. That's pretty dang cool. And again, Omnia Fishing, thank you. All you got to do, you spend $15 and you get a chance to win one of Hank's rods, and you get a stunner that you know is going to catch fish. Or buy Abu Garcia.
If you buy two stunners, Hank goes to your home and gives you lessons on jerkbait.
And cuts your lawn. Hank cuts your lawn because
I don't cut grass. I don't even cut grass. I'm not cutting grass.
Wait, is Jacqueline out there cutting the lawn?
I give her a pair of scissors and she gets out there.
Jacqueline Scissorhands? Is that what you got?
Oh, man.
No.
Hey, so there's going to be a show, Real Lives of the Bass and Wives on Tour. So Jacqueline's going to be on that podcast. I'm not hosting it.
Okay, now that would be fun.
See, Hank? See? That's my idea. You want to host it, Jacqueline? You want to be the hostess?
Let's do it together.
I'm not in on this. I am not in on that. No.
I wouldn't do it unless you and I did it together.
I'm not in on it. I'm not in. Hank would not be happy with that. He would not.
He wouldn't care.
And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
Oh, cool. Hey, what's going on? Back to the Winning Baits show with Hank Cherry. We love Jacqueline, though, for real. Hey, guys, here's the deal. Hank, you created one of the most winning baits of all time. And you told me, Terry and Ken, that you knew a few things about jerk baits, right? I mean, you know a couple things about them. So what's the first one ever? The first jerk bait ever that you consider a jerk bait? Is that it right there, the Rapala? Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
There's an excellent argument that it's the Rapala float, the original Rapala floating minnow.
Okay.
But whereas Terry said the big boom to the Rapala floating minnow was Jimmy Crisp with a technique that he called crispin. I say no, that's incorrect. Rapala caught the biggest break in fishing lure marketing history, because there was a story about Lauri Rapala, the great Finnish lure designer who the company bears his name to this day, that came out in 1962 in Life magazine. And it's the biggest selling issue of Life magazine ever. But it's not because of a Rapala article. It's because it's the issue that covered Marilyn Monroe's death.
Oh, wow.
So suddenly you have this magazine that sold millions and millions and millions and millions of copies. And there's a story about this lure in it. And so the floating minnow took off. It was similar to the story of the Big O in the early 70s. Guys were renting them. This is 1962 money. Guys were renting them for $20 a day.
Yikes. Yikes. Fishermen are nuts. Fishermen are absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, you buy a stunner, you can get a rod with it. So, I mean, come on. But that's what launched the Rapala floating minnow. Now, okay, I'm with it that's the first jerk bait. Although, the way guys fish jerk baits now, especially what Hank has become so famous for, I think you can call the floating minnow more a twitch bait. If jerk bait is part lure type and part style of fishing, then you could also make an argument that this is the first jerk bait. This is the creek chub pikey minnow.
That's what it is. Yeah,
that's the pikey minnow.
If you snap it, it's a jerk bait, kids. Don't lie to yourselves. If you snap this sucker, it's a floating jerk bait. But that's not the way.
Put some lead on the hooks and it suspends.
So the thing about Crisp was that he did not throw the standard floating minnow. He threw the Magnum. Okay, and that's what this bait is here. And it was a Magnum 13 that I have in my hand here. It's, if you compare this to a standard 13,
he's got one in the workshop right there.
Is he allowed to compensate for bad preparation by rummaging through his garage? Pat, is that
we'll give him a break. It's his straight cast.
Oh, here we go. There's a 13 right there.
That was the wrong one.
I picked up an 11. I'm sorry.
Okay, hey,
all right. Terry. So here, the bottom one is a standard 13.
Yeah.
And the top one is the Magnum. And there's a huge difference. You can throw this on 8-pound in a casting rod. You can throw that on 20-pound in a casting rod.
I like those. I like that.
It's a huge bait. And it was this one and the 18 that Crisp used to win that U.S. Bass tournament on Table Rock.
The old Crispin. I remember hearing about it.
I
know Hank knows a little about that too.
So, but then there was also the original Rebel. And so George Perrin did not want to spend a lot of money. He happened to own an injection mold company. So he owned an injection mold company and started he hired Bill Norman, and Bill Norman designed all of the Rebel lures. And so that first jerkbait that was plastic was this Rebel minnow here, the amazing Rebel minnow.
Wow. Hey,
yeah. And then Bill Norman got pissed off because Perrin wasn't paying him. And so he went down the road and started Rebel Manufacturing, which in court, in court, he was told that you can't use the Rebel name, and so he started Bill Norman Lures.
There you go.
And that's a Bill Norman Shiner.
Okay. Okay. Now get this, Hank, and you guys will know about this. I was talking to Clun about this at the Seminole event, Hank, and he had a jerkbait. Do you remember Rick Clun's jerkbait for Norman, Hank?
Mm-hmm. The ripping in, right?
Yeah. And do you remember what you did with that bait? Like there was a feature on it, a very unique feature.
Is that the one you could fill up?
Yeah, you could fill it with water.
It came with an injector, didn't it? It came with a syringe.
It did. Yeah. And you could actually fill it to change the buoyancy. Did you know about that, Pete?
I did not know about that.
Well,
no.
well, actually, if you buy one of those too from Omnia Fishing today, you can get a. But no, it was actually so. Science has come a long way. Think about that, Hank. I mean, what if you were having to inject water into the jerkbait to get it to behave correctly?
I've never had to inject it into a jerkbait, but I have injected them into crankbaits to be able to get them to dive deeper.
Now get this, Hank. Now I hope these bass historians know the answer to this. Now I know you know guys like Terry Scroggins. You heard of him, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he winds a plug, right? Right now, you also know Keith Combs. He winds a plug too, right? Yeah. Kevin Van Darn. He used to be Kevin Van Dam. When he comes back to bass, he'll be Kevin Van Dam again. But now he's Kevin Van Darn, and he likes to wind a plug too. Hank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the deal is there's a little secret thing that people talk about putting oil inside a plug. Spill it. What is it, Hank? What is that even about?
Some of them just inject them. They put oil in there, and you can get them down quick. And when you get them down there quick, it kind of plays with the buoyancy of the bait, so it gives it a unique action coming across the bottom, especially across rocks where it shines. It's no different than in the beginning when we used to do it at Lake Wiley, when we threw the big hot spots, which Ken probably knows what that is. The big, huge, about the size of your hand.
Yep.
You load them with more BBs towards the front, and you had to drill out the front and load them up so you could get them to lay nose down when they hit. That was a ticket. And it's just another thing that you could do. And I still know a lot of guys that still do it just to get the bait down there a little faster and make a longer cast, this, that, and the other.
How do you get the oil in the bait?
In California, you have to use a balsamic vinaigrette. Because
yes, it has a different buoyancy.
There's, God, I could get in trouble. You can put a hole in the bait.
Okay.
Several different ways, and that's the best way. But you will, if you're starting out doing it and never done it before, you will ruin some bait.
Yep, you're gonna ruin them. It's a delicate process. No one gives out the exact formula for success. No one does it. It's like you guys have like a little unwritten code that you wake up with a horse head in your bed if you give out the full information.
So are you like using 10W40 or mineral oil or baby oil or?
I've heard of all kinds of stories about way to do it.
They went to Lion's Den, Terry. Got oil.
And I've actually had some buddies that fish in Florida, around Florida, who have actually been known to shoot some flotation into one occasionally.
Interesting.
On a bigger bait so they could fish with shallower.
Wow. Shooting some foam. Interesting.
There's I think if there's a way to catch a bass by this time, I think it's been tried.
Yeah. I mean, people just the bass fishermen are nuts. 100%. There's not a crazier bunch on the planet. Not a crazy.
We just drink up here and mope. Drop jigs down. They're down.
You're all moping, eh? Hey, Hank, you know a thing or two about winning some Bassmaster Classics, don't you?
Well, I know two things about them.
Yeah. That's why he call you the champ. But so Kenny has a tackle box. All right. And in this magic tackle box, Hank, there is the winning lure from every Bassmaster Classic. Not the exact lure, but the lure from the Bassmaster Classics. Okay. And you know, of course, we got some Hank Cherry delights in there, but we did a little thing earlier, and we had some viewers. We want some viewers to give us a year of a Bassmaster Classic, and Kenny's going to show them the winning lure from that year. But Hank, you are the guest of honor tonight, of course, being the double champ. So I want you to pick a year besides yours. Hank, pick a year, any year of Bassmaster Classic.
No, keep talking about the stunner.
How about we go back to the beginning, to number one.
Hey, Pete wants to learn more about stunners and sneaks.
That would be good because I don't remember the very first one. Ken, what was it?
Yeah.
The Zorro aggravator spinnerbait, 1/4 ounce, white with tandem Colorado silver blades.
A light one.
And you know, you can go back and you can probably track down one of those baits from the day, but the skirt would be all rotted away and stuff like that. This one looks awfully new, doesn't it? This one is actually about 15 years old.
Okay.
I reached out to Stan Sloan, ironically, and sadly, shortly before he died, and Stan made a few for me.
Nice.
Oh my
and
gosh.
packaged them. So this is exactly the bait Bobby Murray used in 1971 to win the first classic on Lake Mead. It's a 1/4 ounce Zorro aggravator.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Tandem silver blades. Just exactly as he made it back in the day on a card. So this is kind of a treasure to me.
Absolutely. That's so cool, Kenny. Wow.
That's really cool.
I had a couple of guys when I couldn't find the baits or couldn't find the bait I was really looking for. I actually had a couple of manufacturers who were willing to pull out the old molds or whatever and make me a vintage bait brand new.
Sure.
So, okay, that's my first show and tell. Batista, you're up.
I don't have an SOB for Butler's 70.
Oh, you don't have an SOB from 72?
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, he's reaching.
Hold on a second.
This is why you're a jerk, Ken.
Oh my goodness. Hey, so
I just got to go to the bottom of the box is the problem, but I saw it a minute ago.
Are you looking for the SOB for real?
Oh, he's got them all.
Yeah, this is Don Butler.
Yeah.
Gave me this.
Wow.
So, yeah.
The old SOB. Hey, that's pretty awesome.
And that was, you know, a spinnerbait. Of course, in the beginning, the classic was a fall tournament. So as you might imagine, spinnerbaits were a big player. And this is the 1/4 ounce SOB, which won the 1972 classic for Don Butler.
Everybody's on them light spinner bugs, Hank. I mean, why are they all on them light bugs?
I don't have anything to throw that on. Like back of hands.
It's it's an October tournament back then for the most part.
Back at a creek.
And so guys are going back in the creeks. They're winding these things over grass beds. They're winding these things through blowdowns and stuff like that. And they're winning derbies.
Hey, Pete.
So I've got a question.
Go ahead, Hank.
So a bait that I grew up fishing farm ponds with, and it actually the state record North Carolina was caught on, was a Bayou Boogie.
Yeah,
lipless.
Has that bait ever come into play in a Bassmaster Classic?
No, sir, not a Bayou Boogie. But a lot of lipless crankbaits, of course. I say a lot. I mean, a lipless crankbait is what did we say earlier? We're talking, I think it's been 5 different classics it's been a part of. It was a part of the 72 classic for Butler, the 92 classic for Robert Hamilton, 2007 for Boyd Duckett. He caught a lot of fish on a rattle trap. 2010 for Van Dam, obviously with the red eye shad. And in 2019, of course, Ott Defo won that.
Yeah, Rashi vibe,
The Bayou Boogie was cool. That had a real unique nose on it, or front part, I remember, Hank. And it also had the coolest ad in Bassmaster magazine. You remember the Bayou Boogie ad in Bassmaster? That was pretty badass.
Well, when I was a kid, that was the farm pond bait, because you just threw it and just reeled it, and it really did nothing. It just caught fish.
Those things are actually hot here in Florida on shell beds to this day.
Really?
Guys will track down a Bayou Boogie.
Wow.
And throw it on the shell beds.
Garrett Rockamora has those.
They'll do some weird stuff that Hank would appreciate that maybe other guys would not if you haven't fished these Florida shell beds. Some guys will take those baits, they'll paint one side black, one side white, because the shells are often dark, but the meat inside is white.
Yeah.
And they'll lift them and drop them and lift them and drop them and let the fish see the flash of both sides that way.
Wow. Look at your all kinds of sneaky stuff coming out tonight. I mean, you got to say, hey, Pete, pick a year.
Yeah.
Bassmaster Classic year. Pick a year. Any year.
Oh, geez. I'm going to get into my era.
Any
here.
year. Any year. Pick a
All
year.
right. 2013.
2013. What do we
2013, you're talking about Cliff Pace, and he was throwing a jerkbait
that's
too,
right.
of course.
Yeah, Cliff.
And I should
And
have
a
told you
football
guys.
jig.
Yeah, and a football.
And a football jig. That's what I was going to say. I thought it was a football
Yeah, and a football jig as well. I have got a mess in
Throw
here.
him
It's
on a
not
jackal.
easy. Not easy for me to find
Jackal
these things
smash.
necessarily. Yeah, he was throwing this squad minnow
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
and that was his bait.
There it is.
No kidding.
Hey, look at that, Pete. That was, and you
And
didn't
of
even know,
course-
Pete. You were just like, oh, cool. It happened to be a jerk
As-
bait. Yeah, it's nice.
As Hank knows better than anybody,
Yep.
when the Classic moved to February, March, the jerkbait
Yep.
became a bigger player than ever. Of course, then when Hank wins in June,
Yep.
still on a jerkbait,
He's like, look at me. Watch this.
There are a lot of other guys that Hank has competed against who are big jerkbait aficionados who threw it all year long.
Mhm.
But the difference was Hank was successful with it.
Yeah.
He did. Hey, he knew. He danced with who brung him. Hey,
And that was a big difference.
hey, Genji, we got a couple of audience members that would like to see a few baits here. What do we got going on?
Steve Weiss for 1985.
Steve Weiss,
1985.
1985
Jack
class.
Chancellor.
Of course, 85, you're talking Jack Chancellor. Oh,
Yeah.
this is another one. Now, I want points for this. Pat Renwick.
Yeah, well, this
Because
isn't the
TC
judging
and I-
contest. Hank's going to decide
TC
that
and I-
next, but
Okay.
yeah.
Pete
so-
and Hank have to give me points for this because I'm pulling out some
Okay.
good stuff now.
okay.
All right.
This is the Jack Chancellor Do Nothing Worm given to me by Jack Chancellor. Okay.
Oh, well, excuse me.
This is
Pass the
bait
Grey
he
Poupon.
won that derby on.
That sure is the old
Really?
Jack
And
Chancellor.
That's
you'll-
pretty cool.
Aren't
and
those
here's-
hooks
here's a-
scary? Those hooks are scary on there.
Well, yeah, they're like crappy hooks.
Oh my
and
God,
the
they're
trick
scary.
was, and Pat and Terry and I are old enough to remember this, that you took a pair of pliers and you bent it down until the point touched the plastic,
Yeah.
and then you let it go, and it would spring back a little bit, but it would still be kind of rounded in,
Yeah, just
You're
scary.
getting snagged, but you still hook most of the fish. All right, now, in '73, Bill Dance finished second in the Classic Torreo Breckenridge, and Bill was throwing a Carolina rig. You'd think second place in the Classic's pretty good. That'll put the Carolina rig on the map, but it really didn't. It really didn't. And Terry's got the super floaters that Bill was using.
Oh yeah, okay, yep.
What it took to put the Carolina rig on the map was Jack Chancellor winning the Classic in '85. And after that, if you got in a bass boat without a Carolina rig
You
set up,
were a dum dum.
you were not bass
Yeah.
fishing.
It wasn't happening. All right, Genji, what else you got? Do you have any more viewer years?
So Dustin Hobbs for 1990.
Dustin Hobbs.
1990, we're talking
Clun.
Rick Clun.
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 Yeah. Here we
That's
go.
changed for
Here
him.
we go.
Now, Clun used a variety of crankbaits to win that Classic, but one of the ones he used was the Pose RC1.
Yeah.
And
There it is.
here's that
Yeah.
bait.
The old RC1. Beautiful.
And I'll tell you a funny story really quick, Pat. When Terry heard your lead into the show saying, "Hey, we got a tackle box with examples of the Classic winning baits," Terry kind of shot me a private message saying, "Oh, there's no way he doesn't have those." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I bet you're right."
Yeah, he didn't show me that you fixed this and Ken has the frickin' tackle box.
well, no, we're doing that.
Like, holy crap, it'd be awesome if
Gosh
Pat-
damn. Did you
Yeah.
not get enough attention as a kid or something, Terry? What's
No.
wrong with you? For
Well, actually, if you guys went to the Classic in the earlier 2000s, or maybe even through about 2013 or 14, you may have seen a display at the Classic Expo of the winning lures hanging in a cool box and all with glass all around it.
Yep.
And they were the baits that they were my baits that I'm showing here.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Hey,
That's super cool.
But before we get on to the final segment here, I would like to see, if I could, Bo Dowden's Arky jig. Can I see that, please?
Oh, Dowd, 1980. Let me find 1980.
1980 classic. One of my favorites. That's one of my all-time favorite classics. Like, I used to pretend I was Bo Dowden and Rick Clunn way back.
Jig and Pig.
Way back. The old Jig and Pig
So,
in New York. He was in New York.
If you're Bo Dowden and Rick Clunn, you're thinking fast but talking really slow.
That's right. That's right. And I'm thinking way too fast. I can't stop my thinking.
Now this one's all gummed up. It's a bit gummed up.
That's okay.
But here, and I had to, for the sake of display, I did replace the Uncle Josh pork frog with a chunk style plastic frog just for the sake of display. But here it is.
Does it have a gold hook on it, or is the gold hook all corroded? And
it's in decent shape, but yeah.
Yeah, I used to get those from Bait Shop Randy at the Fishing Shack in Calumet City, Illinois.
And you know, Bob Carnes, the guy who invented the Arky head, is still alive and well and shows up at some tackle shows.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, Bassmaster Classic tackle box right there, Kenny Duke. Wow. All right.
No, really, everybody sit down.
Terry, here's your chance.
Standing ovation.
Terry, here's your chance. Here's your chance. Now, Hank, we do a little thing here when the bass fishing historians come on, and it's kind of like American Idol. And so Pete, you and myself, we will be the judges for this. And,
Okay.
yeah. And these are winning baits in bassin history. And basically we're discussing jerk baits and plastic worms. Now, I hope that you guys didn't already, can I say, I don't know if I can say that. I hope you guys didn't already use your best stuff. Shoot your best shot.
Ken's got it all. I mean, he's got all the classic stuff. So.
I hope you didn't shoot your best shot. But Andy, you got any game show American Idol type music? Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the bass fishing historian bedazzling battle of bass fishing winning baits. That's a lot of bees and a lot of pontification right here on Straycast. The judges are Pete Prez Peoria from Omnia Fishing and two-time Bassmaster Classic champion Hank Cherry and myself, Pat Renwick, bass fishing talk show host. Want to remind everybody you buy a stunner at omniafishing.com and you got a chance to win a free Hank Cherry rod. Also, you purchase any Abu Garcia Signature Series rod and get a chance to win a free Hank Cherry rod as well. Hell of a deal. Hey, let's start the festivities here. And Pete, I would like you to send it to our first contestant. And who would you like to see go first in the bass fishing bedazzle, Kenny or Terry?
Terry, let's see what you got.
Oh, okay.
On winning baits or jerk baits or worms or what?
Well, I guess Ken didn't prep you well, and he must have sandbagged you like most tournament fishermen do.
I did not sandbag him. I play fair.
Here we go. You guys are best Thunder buddies, I guess. Okay.
I love Terry Battisti.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well,
like a wet glove.
How about everybody knows that Bagley has made crankbaits forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they started out, but Jim Bagley started out with pork rind.
Yes.
And then after that,
and John Cox's dad sold those.
After Crean got into the business,
true story.
So did Jim Bagley.
Mm-hmm.
And these are Jim Bagley's plastic worms.
Yeah, I remember Jim Bagley's plastic worms. He had the
old Jim's hardheads.
The hardhead worms, that's right. He also had the salty dogs. Remember salty dog shrimps and salty.
Yep.
Now, I like that one. Well, I can't say anything yet. That's really cool. That's really a good one. Yeah, you just know I have a fondness for Bagley stuff. That's
I know you do.
Yeah, he's trying to breeze the judge here. Okay, well that's pretty good. Kenny, what are you working with? As the ladies might say.
I think it's great. I know you have a passion for the Bagley stuff, Pat. And I think it's wonderful that Terry pulled out the Bagley
right away. Didn't even save it for cleanup.
What a shame that Terry didn't mention the Bagley jerkbait. which of course
the
is
old
the
bango.
Bangalore.
The Bangalore, yeah.
I don't know why.
Next.
I don't know why Terry had a lapse there, but obviously when you get to be his age, things slip, and this is one of those.
And the Bassmaster
moment.
Classic champion happens to be with us.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we
he
got
won it on a
Hank Cherry
jerkbait. I
here,
don't
for
know.
God's sake.
Yeah.
Who knows more about jerkbaits than probably anybody?
Yeah.
Well, this is not just a Bagley jerkbait, the Bangalore. This is a Bangalore that Jim Bagley gave to the world's greatest bass fishing cinematographer, Glenn Lau.
Wow.
And that Glenn Lau gave to me.
Holy cow.
So it has some interesting history behind it.
Now, is that a spin tail bango or just the regular?
No, just the regular.
That's a regular.
Okay, I got
It's
you.
old school. It's old school because I have respect for history. Unlike, I won't name him here. I will not name him here.
They're brutal, and I like that you picked the gold black stripes.
It's a great Florida color, isn't it? Come on.
Yeah, that's
this is the Florida color.
Yeah, it sure is. Okay, well, let's start the judging. And
I'd also like to point out that I covered Hank's first win and his second one and his third win.
Exactly. This is where this always leads to, Hank.
So he's greasing. Duke
is pulling favors.
That I was not saving anything. I was throwing out the Zorro aggravator. I was throwing out the Okie Bug SOB spinnerbait. I was not holding anything
And
back.
nobody cares about my 1960s Bango lure in a box.
That's really cool. I like
that just means that neither Jim Bagley nor Glenn Lau ever touched it. I just wanted you to know I've been given all night.
Okay, enough of you. Let's go to Pete first. Pete, if you got to pick, who's bedazzling with the first item up here?
We are on a jerkbait theme, and I'll go with Ken on this one.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Kenny.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, Kenny did it there, and we go to the two-time Bassmaster Classic champion who won on a jerkbait. And what are you thinking there, Mr. Cherry?
I'm going to have to go with Ken, just for the simple fact that I may or may not have used several of those worms that Terry had from my dad's stash when I was a kid, when I wasn't supposed to. So I'm going to go.
Thank you, Hank. Thank you.
All right. There. So we got two.
Rigged.
We got two Kennys.
That's right.
Rigged.
Hey, he swung with the Bangalore. So
let me ask the double classic champ. Hank, would you have respect for an angler who did not use every edge he had available to him?
Oh no, that's the thing. You have to use every bit of knowledge, whatever you got, to gain the inch. If not, somebody else will try to gain a foot right over the top of it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to take a page from the Hank Cherry book. That's all.
All right. Look at him go. Look at how he does this. All right. Well, Kenny, we're sending it right back to you because we're giving Terry a chance to really think about this one and shine. So plastic worms are jerkbaits. Bedazzle us here. Bedazzle us. Winning baits.
Let's go plastic worms.
Okay.
Let's go plastic worms because I want to beat Terry at the turf he tried to claim moments ago.
Okay.
And I think I can.
With a plastic worm.
Y'all are probably familiar with this book. If y'all are,
that's Bill Dance's book. That's there he is. I love that book with all my heart.
Bill Dance's book.
Bill Dance is my hero.
Of worm fishing.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
And it's called that because that's what guys used to say.
There he is.
Set the hook instantly back in the day. This is 1973. They would say, "Oh, there he is."
And then they light a dart, and then they go
exactly smoke a cigarette,
yeah.
Smoke the rest of the pack. Then finally they would set the hook and ridiculous.
Kill the fish, gut him, eat him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Basically,
that's your release. Not such a big deal then.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the book, Bill Dance's book on worm fishing, and gentlemen, this is the original outline for that book in Bill Dance's handwriting.
Come on.
Wow.
It's true. It's true. I'm gonna.
And
right
if
now.
you recognize some other handwriting on there, it's the handwriting of Bob Cobb, who actually wrote the book for Bill.
This is silly.
Wow.
That's bass fishing history. It's Bill Dance's book. There he is, which is second only in my eyes to Bass and Objects. And you actually have the manuscript or the original outline for the idea for the book with Bill Dance and Bob Cobb. Wow. Wow. Okay, Terry, what do you got?
What do I got? How do I even get? I have the book. I have the book, and it's signed to me. but I don't have the freaking manuscript. So
okay, well,
there's a word that I want to use, but I'm going to have to use jerk.
Jerkbait is appropriate. This is a show about cool jerks.
Ken's a jerkbait. All right, let me think here. I've actually got an appropriate. Well, it's not an appropriate. I'm not going to show that. We're going to talk about worms.
Kenny, he's not even. He's
Does
fumbling
does
now.
he get points off for not being prepared like this?
I don't know, but it better be good.
I don't think it's
But I
prepared.
wasn't prepared for that. I thought it was worms. I didn't know it was freaking books.
Yeah.
It was books.
Books
All right,
on worms.
so we have more worms.
Coil dancers.
Green coil dancer.
Oh, those are nice though. That's like the original touchdown worm.
This is the original dealer freaking card that they would hang.
All right, let's just move on. I vote for Ken Duke on this one. Hank, where you at?
Okay, how do I back that up? I'm backing it up.
With this one, because the cream family is dear to my heart, I'm going with the worm. They filled us.
Hank, I owe you big time, buddy.
Terry,
Hank, I thought we were friends, Hank.
We are, but I'm sentimental when it comes to that cream brand, and I know with the family that stands behind it, and I'm going with the cream.
Terry
worm.
knew what he was doing.
That means
Thank you, sir.
that Polish Pete has to break the tie.
Yeah. Wait, no, Pat has to. Oh, Pat.
I
Already,
went with Kenny.
Yeah, you went with Kenny.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I got to go with Kenny again too.
Yeah, okay.
I like that over
Thank
there
you,
too.
Pete.
No.
Hank, I'm gonna
all
look
haters,
deep
except
in my
Hank.
heart, Hank, and try to forgive you one day.
Okay, now here it is. This is a double
One
or
day,
nothing.
Hank.
Final
One day,
one.
maybe.
Final one. And Terry, you go first. Hit us with your best shot, fire away, like Pat Benatar said. And you have one chance to bedazzle two-time Bassmaster Classic champion Hank Cherry, Pistol Pete Presbyterian from Omnia, and myself. So,
All right.
fire away. Hank's got vacation to do.
Well, let's go with a little bit of Norman trivia here.
Okay.
Ooh.
We have 2 Norman Shiner minnows, which used to be the Reb 1 jerkbait, or
Okay.
the Reb 1 minnow.
Yes, I remember.
Again, they're in boxes that have never been opened, original packaging from 1969.
Sassy AF. Yes.
So
I like it. I like it.
Pretty cool.
You picked the gold orange belly, classic Norman color, and with the Norman bars that he originated for Rebel, as we learned earlier, and now you're showing us those, Terry. Ken,
Yes.
that's good choice. Kenny, what do you got? Hey, bada swing.
I'm gonna go back to worms. I'm gonna go back to Bill Dance's book on
God.
worm fishing. There he is. It's actually
this
the
isn't a
second
literature
book.
they do thing,
Hey man, I
It's
already
about
won the
the topic.
contest.
It's
I already
topics.
won 2.
It's
There are
topics.
only 3 elements. There are only 3, so I can concede if I choose to, and I still win.
That
I'll
is
do
true.
that.
That is true.
because-
It's like a round robin tournament, Hank. It's
because Terry
No,
was
I'm winning
so
all.
cocky going into tonight, telling me
Yeah,
how
I
he was
was.
going to trash me.
You guys are. You're
And,
ruthless.
and I don't
I
want
didn't know you were
Terry-
going to bring your library into things.
I don't want Terry to feel like he's a complete loser tonight.
Okay.
So I'm going to concede this one. Nice job, Terry.
Oh, okay. Go it, Ken.
This is a first.
No, we want to see it, Ken. We want to see it. We're gonna.
No, I really didn't. I was planning on going back to a lot of the stuff in the classic winning baits thing, and I was that I wound up using up, like the Zorro, like the Okie Bug, like the Chancellor thing. So I was kind of screwed.
Well, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on, Andy. Andy, I'm sorry. You're right, Andy. So our producer, Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja, is a stickler for the rules. And it looks like that Ken Duke and I inadvertently broke the off-limits information rule by having a discussion ahead of time. Therefore, the winner is Terry Battisti and the. Wow, Kenny, I'm sorry.
We need a redo.
Kenny, I'm sorry.
I'm not charity.
Biggest railroad
I got a
I've
big
ever
mouth, Kenny.
seen.
I got a big
I am-
mouth.
I feel like I should get a train ticket. I'm being railroaded so bad here. This is ridiculous.
Damn.
This is insane.
Andy, I thank you for pointing that out, Andy. I appreciate your full disclosure.
No.
Yes, I'm blaming it on the
Well,
producer.
I guess this is how Terry can win.
Yeah,
So
he won. He won loud and
Wow.
clear.
No, it's a redo.
wow,
We get a redo.
I will be justified in the court of public opinion, people. I will win there. I will take my case to the people.
Hey, but both of you guys, amazing job. But rematch next time. Good job, Terry. There it is. You won.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you won one of those baits on your wall.
Golly.
Hey,
Nice
Cherry.
nice coil worm.
I got a
Sweet
I got
coil
the
worm,
for
bro.
you, Ken.
Hank liked the coil worm, so cut it out, guys. Yeah.
No, Hank likes the cream family.
Oh, that's true.
He liked Nick and Cosma, and he liked Wayne Kent and those folks. So
Yep.
Sure.
How did you know that, Hank?
How did I know him?
Yeah.
I was sponsored by Cream for a couple years.
Really?
Yeah.
that would have been way after Nick and Cosma. But
They
you knew
were
Wayne Kent.
great family. I still think today they make a great product, and they have some very loyal followers out there that still use just their brand.
Bass in history with the cream.
And Hank, I want to throw this out. Chris and Ann Kent are now running the company.
Oh wow!
And I think that information, the fact that I know that, the fact that I know them, should have given me the win on the coil worm.
I didn't know that information.
Hey, let it go. Let it go, you two. Take it out on your own Big Bass podcast that's available on all platforms. You guys are amazing, actually. Hey, Hank, we thank you for coming on the Stray Cast show and brightening up our night. Thank you very much, Hank Cherry.
I enjoyed it as always.
Yeah, and thanks, Jacqueline. Jacqueline's definitely your better half, and I know from hanging out with you guys, she keeps you together. She keeps you together.
Does.
Yeah, 100%. So thanks, Jack, for that too. And
That's right now. I think she's running kids back in the house from off the beach. I think
that sounds right. That's right. And Hank, best of luck
Thank
at
you.
Murray. I hope you smash him at Lake Murray. And thanks for throwing in an extra Hank Cherry signature rod to the person that purchased one at Omnia Fishing. So
well, I hope they enjoy it. I sure have enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people have enjoyed it, and I think it's a good product.
There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, that's Hank Cherry. He's two-time Bassmaster Classic champion and just an all-around awesome dude. Thanks again, Hank.
See you guys.
I'll see you at Lake Murray.
Hank.
All right, we'll be there.
There it is. That's Hank Cherry, boys.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a champ. He's a champ. Hey, I can't tell you Bassin historians how much I enjoy your, as my buddy used to say, your shtick. I really like your shtick. Your bass knowledge.
Oh, the shtick is great until somebody gets a stick in the eye like I did tonight.
Hey, this ain't no Jacob Wheeler stuff here. We go by the rules, buddy. I mean, and all we do is allegedly.
You said it.
All right. So I don't know. But anyway, guys, Pete, thank you so much for your guys' contribution from Omnia Fishing. That's a pretty cool deal.
I really enjoyed being on. When these guys come on, I'd like to be on again. I love listening to them.
Yeah. I'll tell you, man. Hey, Kenny, what? I cut you off, bud.
I was going to say, this is a dark, dark day in bass history. And, the tale of this event will be told for decades to come.
Yeah,
it is. And hey, but I mean, that was the proper thing of us to do. Ken, was to, we did go in the off limits area. So
everything. No.
Oh, now you're in denial. You're in denial of this?
Later, I might be on the Amazon, but right now,
you're on that river.
Right now, I know what truth, justice, and the American way is, and this is not that.
Goodness gracious. Hey, well, I appreciate you guys. And, of course, the Big Bass Podcast is on every platform. And, of course, you can see Pistol Pete Piora's prowess. You hear all those P's on Omnia Fishing Instagram page. I like your stuff on there, Pete. It's really cool.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
And, of course, Omnia Fishing, a very unique place to purchase tackle. By lake, by land, by sea, by even plane, wherever you are, you can purchase from Omnia Fishing. Hey, guys, before you go, let's give away some stuff together. What do you want to do it?
Sure.
You want to give away? We got some stuff to give away, right, Ginge? Okay. So text it to Ken. Text one of them to Ken. And if you don't mind, text one to Pete. Is that cool? And we can give away now. Ken, what would you like to give away? We're giving away a lot KVD's Line and Lure Pro Pack, courtesy of Isaac at KVD's Line and Lure. And you know Rob Faddis from way back in the Line and Lure days. Both of you gentlemen, and of course Isaac's running the company, and they've been with me since the Bass Buzz Radio days. And they're giving away a pretty hefty pack of bow to stern boat cleaner, KVD's Line and Lure spray, and Arma Shield protectant. So you got that, Kenny?
I got it.
Okay. You want a drum roll? You want medieval?
I want Andy to have to do a lot of stuff because I'm so unhappy with him right now.
Oh my gosh!
As our
ultimate
arbiter. So Andy, yeah, I want a drum roll. I want crescendo. I'd like hail to the chief. I need it all, man. I need it all. The winner of the KVD Line and Lure Trophy, which, by the way, KVD credited for a lot of his success in the 2005 Classic.
Yes, he did.
Line and Lure winner Chad Henson.
Chad Henson. I know Chad. Heck yeah.
There you go, Chad. Good job.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's the explicit fisherman.
You're a winner, Chad. I'm not a winner. I don't know how that happened, but I'm not a winner and you are. I'm guessing that Polish Pete is going to somehow announce that Terry Battisti's won the other package.
I don't know. Pete's giving away some tin cup whiskey fun pack, and you know what usually comes in there? Sometimes.
Go ahead and say it, Pete. It's Battisti.
Yes.
Not this time. It is Brian Kirkson.
Brian Kirkson, you're the tin cup whiskey winner.
Probably just an alias for Terry Battisti.
That's what he has on his passport. He has it on his Sam's Club card.
Ken, do you have smeltinators in your classic winning box?
I do not. If there's any chance I could get some smeltinators in the right size.
Opening night, 3/8, the exact color and size coming your way.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, sir. That's huge.
How about spread some love my way?
Yeah.
No. You got way too much you didn't deserve already tonight.
Oh my god!
Of course, most of the winning.
Feel the hatred.
Most all of the winning bass lures of 2023 are available at omniafishing.com. Also available in Terry Battisti's garage and Ken Duke's basement. So there's a wide array of everything. Hey, this has been a fun show, guys.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I like doing
Thoroughly
these.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, I like doing these kind of deals. It's cool for myself as a talk show host to, veer a little bit from a straight interview show too, and kind of go into a little bit of bass and geekness. Geek out a little on some baits. And you guys are perfect geeks to accompany me. I thank you for that.
Well, geekness is the only path we offer you, Pat. So kind of stuck.
I love it. Thank you so much. And guys, keep that child spirit that all of you have. The Big Bass Podcast. Can I have one of those hats? Can I get one of those?
Absolutely.
And can Pete get one too for giving you schmeltinators?
Of course he can.
Yeah. See how I did that for you, Pete?
I wish you guys would subscribe. We're at like 991 or 92 subscribers
Wait a second.
right now on YouTube.
Hold on a minute.
We want to get to 1,000 tonight if we can.
We'll throw that out there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on a second. So you have 992 subscribers and you want to get to 1,000. That's 8 people. Yep. Okay. So here's what we're doing right now. This is just in. This is breaking news. And right now, if you are the 8th subscriber of the Big Bass Podcast to Get them to 1,000. You get to go with a 2-hand, all-you-can-grab spree in Terry Battisti's tackle room. You can grab whatever you want. Number 8. Here's the thing, too.
Now.
Kenny Duke's flying you to Terry's. Kenny Duke's flying you there. You go in there. You grab whatever you want. Number 8 subscriber
got worse for me.
pushes to 1,000, costing all you guys money and energy. There it is, the Big Bass Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube.
We would appreciate it all. I mean, to get to 1,000 in 2.5 months is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
You got a cool show. It's different than what size slip sinker were you using. Kind of like we tried to do here at Stray Cast, and you guys are dealing a whole new avenue of the history of bass, biggins.
It's all about big fish, and so far we've covered some stuff in California, we've covered some stuff in Florida, North Carolina, Georgia border, Massachusetts even, and we're talking about big fish that a lot of people have heard about, but then there's some fish that nobody's heard about, especially the H.W. Ross episode that Ken has literally spent 45 years tracking down. And literally a week before we put that show together, Ken got the missing pieces. And I mean, the research that goes on and stuff like that, if you're interested in the history of bass fishing and especially big fish, you can't find this stuff anywhere else.
There's no one like you two in the sport. There's no one like you two.
Guys, you're gonna think this is hilarious. We jumped up from 991 or 992 to 999, and then suddenly we're losing numbers as people unsubscribe.
Yes. Wait a second. All right, so
never get there.
Oh no, now we're screwed. Wait a second. Are you sure nobody wants to go shopping or on a tackle grab 2-handed spree in?
We're on 999, and we do have. We hit 1,000.
We did it.
And we do,
yes,
we do have a way.
We
to
did
figure out
it.
Who that is? So we will absolutely do something for that 1,000.
That 1,000 subscriber.
But I don't think we can figure out who it was.
No, we don't. We know. And Terry's Terry, don't worry. Kenny's sending them to your
remember?
house. Yeah.
Nathan has a way. Nathan figured out that I was the first subscriber, and you were like 847, I think, Terry.
Well, I just wanted to see if it was going to succeed.
Well, my YouTube says I'm your 1,000th subscriber.
Oh, baby.
Pete, you won. Pete, you won.
Nice.
Terry Batista's house.
Yeah.
Come on down, Pete. I'm in Knoxville. You know how to get here.
Right on, I do.
That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing to the Big Bass Podcast and check them out. It's my favorite podcast.
That's a big landmark for us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for coming on this show, guys. And Pete, always enjoy your company everywhere we go. And same with you two, gentlemen. I wish the best of luck to you all. And, I'll see you soon, I guess. I don't know. Maybe at the Classic next year. Pete, I'll see you in June.
The hell out of you.
Yep.
We really do.
Yeah. Keep up the good work,
Appreciate
gentlemen.
you guys both.
Yeah, give it up there
boys.
for Kenny, Terry, and Petey. Right there. Thanks, boys.
guys.
Don't forget, you buy a stunner. You got a chance at omniafishing.com. You got a chance to win the Hank Cherry Signature Series jerkbait rod. Also buy an Abu Garcia Team Series rod and get any Team Series rod and get another chance to win a Hank Cherry jerkbait rod or even the bladed jig rod. We'll send you whichever one you want. There it is. omniafishing.com. One-stop shopping. Peace. All right. Good job, boys. There it is.
See you, boys.
I like that one. That's fun. How you feeling, Ginge? Are we gonna rock it up? Are you talking without microphones again? All right, Ginge, you close the show. Are you gonna close it? Come on, sing a song. Ginge, do you sing? What's your favorite song, Ginge? Ginge, what was your favorite part about tonight? Yell it since your microphone's not on. Ginge, yell it. Do you think that Andy's not putting his microphone on because he's nervous or shy? What are you doing, Andy? Andy, what was your favorite part about tonight?
Probably the history that they were given.
The history?
The initial when they were with Hank.
What was the coolest bait?
I don't know, dude. They're all pretty.
I like that first Rebel one that he showed.
It was interesting about the fin or the lines that they got mad about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. On the Rebel and the Norman. And those first ones weighed nothing. Like, you could not cast those. There's no, like, if you ever have one of those original injected molded plastic minnow baits, you cannot even cast them.
Yeah.
You can't even cast them. Hey, it's been an amazing evening. Thank you, Bass Galaxy. Thank you to Ichikawa Hooks. Your poison dartus points penetrate. I'm saying a lot of pontification tonight, Ginge. I'm practicing. I'm a method actor. Sims Fishing, keeping us looking brisk and clean. Tin Cup Whiskey, thanks, Foles. Thanks, Courtney. Alpha Angler, Calsag Bass. Big derb this weekend. Again, congratulations to Mike Miklos, the first winner of the year. Also, Half a Spot Official. If you are not subscribed to the Half a Spot app, you're missing out. Dan Bavarni, wherever we are, I know you're wherever you are, I know you're hand tying some jigs somewhere. Waterland Sunglasses, I'm seeing things differently these days. Impulse Lithium, Bill and Darlene, thank you so much. Bob's Machine Shop, jacking it up with Bob's. Berkeley Abu Garcia, thanks for your help for tonight's shows. Crestliner Boats keeping us afloat. We power pole down for pleasure and buy our stuff at Omnia Fishing. I'm Pat Renwick. That's Andrew Ellenberger. And we appreciate you, Bass Galaxy, for tuning in tonight. Well, I think we're off next week. I'm going to Lake Murray for the Elite Series Derb, and then we're back the week after that. I'll see you then, Bass Galaxy. Go ahead. You can take the power poles up. Put them up. Double tap up, and be on your way. Thank you. No, wait, no, stay. Just stay. Stay. No, you can go. Wait, no, please stay. Stay. No, wait, just stay. One more minute.